guys, Jones here, Jones Fitness and Outdoor. Welcome. I wanted to have a chat about training, about my training. So I do need a phone for access to my notes. Cup of coffee. Cheers, guys. Last couple of weeks I was finishing a 10-mile running program, and I did that program for about 2 months. I finished it last week anyway. That was of course supposed to culminate in a 10-mile run, designated pace, and I did on purpose. I set that pace a bit faster than I expected to manage. And well, you might say I succeeded. It was too fast. I couldn't reach that pace, but that was no big deal because that was in the plan. But what I did manage to overextend my resources, or how you want to put it. I had a slight issue with my right knee. It has been going on for a couple of months, and that reached a point where it was not enjoyable at all to run. Had pain on the inside of my right knee, and also a bit of discomfort below the kneecap. So anyway, I didn't manage to force myself into rest, but better so, I got sick. So yeah, I was resting no matter what. Children was sick also, so it was a fun time. It was about 10 days where me or both or one of the children were sick. So anyways, got back to the running last week. These weekly, or the recaps of last week's training might have a bit of a delay, and I know I didn't film one of the weeks. Yeah, as I said, I filmed these weekly is my plan, but when I got sick, didn't train for a week, 10 days. Well, there is nothing much to talk about, so now I don't know really where I left off last time. So we will just get back into it. So let's have a look to the day where my 10-mile run were supposed to happen, and it didn't happen. Well, it happened actually a week before, but this one in the designated pace didn't happen. I just ran 5k that day. Also because of the problems with my knee. Since then, I have done, so that's actually last week. Only 2 sessions last week were 2 runs. Slow and short. The 5k both times, but what I have been doing, I went to see a physio and he asked me about my strength training, and well, I told him as it is. I try to lift heavy. It's to basically focus around squats, low bar squats, some deadlifts and so on. Well, he had me do some positions, and I mean, I'm as shocked as anyone. My mobility is apparently not very good, so I couldn't get into these positions. Squatting, but knees off ground. So I mean, on your toes and in a squatting position. Super hard. Never done it. But I mean, apparently I should be able to do it. So, but one thing that I got from the meeting with the physio is need to do unilateral movements. So Bulgarian split squats and lunges. I added these 2 to my schedule. So the lunges, I do them after runs, post run. Just do a fair amount. And Bulgarian split squats I do when I go to the gym. With these 2 runs last week, I did also lunges afterwards. And I actually managed to start slow, not overextend myself. Common issue. When I start something new, I just go too hard, and well, that tends to worsen any issues. But then so this was Thursday and Saturday. Short runs, 5K, slow. Felt better than I have been pre-sickness and rest. But then come Sunday, I went to the gym. So this I'm gonna have to read more or less from my notes. So started with leg extensions. Remember, my aim is to do all my gym training standing or hanging, but this was more to warm up, and the bars were occupied. So started with leg extensions. Felt good to get the blood flowing and warm up the knees. Then I went over to overhead pressing. Did a couple of working sets, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 working sets. And that might seem like a lot, but I tend to, instead of doing lots of exercises, I like to focus on some that I know will benefit me. Yeah. And then deadlifts. Deadlifts, they have a tendency, my experience, I'm no one, just a guy. Yeah, just a guy online talking crap about training. But okay, deadlifts, they don't stress the knees as much, I would say, if you have problems in front of the knees, maybe the tendon below the kneecap, stuff like that. I'm no expert. This is just my own experience and my own thoughts. So that's why I went for deadlifts. More focus on the on the back, on the hamstring, on the glute, on the lower back, not as much on the quad. So I managed to do a couple of working sets there, 5 I would say. I tend to see it from a percentage point of view, but it was a long time since I had a max deadlift, so I'm not sure about the percentages. But I would say, even though I don't go very heavy, in my mind I tell myself that I could of course do 200k if I absolutely need to. So my working sets were 140 kilos. That's not very heavy, and that would be like 70%. I actually think it's not really 70, because I think my max is more or higher. But anyway, that's how I try to see it and like calculate the weight on the bar that I should be using. And then after deadlifts went over to bar dips, and by bar dips I just mean dips, and hanging knee raise. Favorite superset combo, actually feels really good. Then I did some pull-ups. Those are still super heavy and awkward. Yeah, and then Bulgarian split squats. Well, I mean, lots of people have questions about Bulgarian split squats. I find the only use for, the padding for the bar, the only use for it is when doing Bulgarian split squats, because I place the bar at about knee height, put the padding on the bar, and then I rest the front of my foot or the ankle on the padding, have a step forward with the other leg, and I do the split squats. So in my opinion, that's a good use for the padding. Never use it for like squatting. And then finally dumbbell row, because I really like it. You can get a good stretch, and also you feel your core working to stabilize while doing them. And that was it. That totaled, let's see if I can see it, yeah, total weight 14.5 tons. And that doesn't really say much, because you can have a lot of tonnage, a lot of total weight if you go really light. So, but I would say I try to keep it between 10 and maybe 15, 16, 17 tons. But then again, I mean, if you go super light on everything, then you need to do lots of reps. So that's just my ideas. Total reps 200, total sets 34. And I think the sets count is also from the very first warm-up set. Let's say when I didn't do squats today, but when I do, my first warm-up is just the bar. I think that counts in here for the sets, but not for the reps and not for the total weight, because you need to come over 50% of your 1 rep max for it to count as total tonnage. Yeah, anyway, heaviest was 140 kilos. Most sets, overhead press. So I really want to be good at overhead pressing. I have been. I wouldn't say good, because online you can also always find guys who overhead press like 150k, like it's nothing. I would like to overhead press 100k. That would be nice. So let's see if I can do it. That's not really my primary goal for 2025. It is running, but overhead pressing is fun, easy to set up. Nothing like the bench where you need to, arrange everything. Yeah, that is basically it, because that was Sunday and that was the last day of the week. So that was my training last week. Hope you enjoyed it, guys. Hope you got something out of it. I'm not really sure what the point of this is. I think it's like a video diary for me, talking about my training. And if you want to watch it, I'm glad. Otherwise, I just have to watch it myself, I guess. So anyway, until next time, keep improving, keep training, and most of all, stay safe.